The case of the missing panties. There they are. I'm going to show you a picture. They were sitting right there. Ooh, the case of the missing panties. Ooh. Sitting right there at the front of the building. Everybody passed through. There's only one entry into the building, and the only other entry is through a gate that is allowed only to the Anglican Bible College students in the other building. So everyone who came into this building walked right by it. My question is, how come nobody picked them up in a community where they're supposed to be so based on propriety and decency? It just seems strange that they sat there all the way till, quarter to 11 at night, 10:30, 10:45 at night. Whatever, benefit of the doubt. I don't think so. I think that they were there for a while. And it's possible that they were moved later on, but if they were, maybe someone doing laundry or something, why didn't they see it on the way back? But that doesn't float either, because when I took these photos, the second after I took the photos, a female walked up the driveway, walked right by them, and did nothing. She just grinned at me taking the photo, and kept walking. Never picked them up, never did nothing. So, curious, the case of the missing panties. Left abandoned on a Christian lot. Hey, okay, so it's the 28th of April, and Chris here, and talking more about living with Anglicans. Crusty, dirty, thieving, lying, cheating Anglicans. That's just the students here in this building, I guess. They're just so special. They're placed here, special privileges, because they're so blessed with so many wonderful Christian attributes, like thieving and breaking into computers and falsely accusing and pointing fingers. That's what I mean by falsely accusing, character, manipulating social situations to make people look bad, to get their own way, harassing people so they can motivate people to leave so they can get units. What else? Oh, on and on and on for 3 years now. Like I said before, one guy even said that some people are happy living somewhere else. Some people are just not designed for the seminary atmosphere, and this is, after all, a seminary atmosphere. We're all about prayer and learning the Holy Bible. Today's story is about panties. But first, before I talk about panties, very enticing topic, I'd like to talk about what happened last weekend. So last weekend I went to the doctor's office, and I had the doctor's address on a note. And of course, I don't trust a single soul in this building, so I have to, I try to keep everything quiet as I possibly can, even though that's impossible here, because they seem to know your business before you know your business. Anyways, so I had it on a note, and we didn't really talk about it, my partner and I. We just put it on a note and put it in my pocket, and I walked out. Problem is, my pockets are shallow, and the note fell out when I was by my car. Well, no problem there, because Grot Lost Pole was walking up the sidewalk, and he saw it fall out of my pocket, I'm sure, because he was walking up the sidewalk, and an Anglican student, I call him Grot Lost Pole. So Lost Pole must have seen it drop out of my pocket. He kept going. Usually he goes through a gate and goes into the other building, but he kept going and put his head down and kept going and whatever, acting as if he was nonchalant. Passed by the car, did my business, got my car ready, drove off, and when I got to the grocery mall, and I thought, crap, I must have dropped it. And I had thought about it before I left. Don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it. All right, dropped it. So I get back, and couldn't see it anywhere around the car, so I thought, oh, maybe I dropped it at the mall. No, I did not drop it at the mall, because I took recycling out, and there it was, sitting on the bin. It was sitting on the bin in broad daylight, folded over, all wet, on the top of the bin. Not in the bin. They didn't throw it in the bin. They just left it on top of the bin, probably hoping that the wind would blow it away and they could have deniability, because it was in a public place. Why would they want deniability? Because these crooks can break into any computer they want. Once they have the address of the doctor, they just go to the building, they sit on the sidewalk, and they can crack into the building from the sidewalk. It doesn't matter if the machine's off. It doesn't matter if the machine's whatever. They can crack into it. As long as it's plugged in and it's got AMT, read Patrick Stewin's work on the IAMT account. Can they access? I don't have a laboratory, so I can't test it. But you can access modern Windows machines with the with the machine powered off. So that's why I think they put the note out, because Lost Pole sees the note there, picks it up, or one of them sees the note and picks it up. I'm not saying who, I don't care. One of them did. It got from there to the bin, to sitting on the bin top, and it wasn't put in the bin or ripped up as I would do. If I saw a piece of personal data and I didn't know who it belonged to, I'd rip it up and throw it in the bin. Not these bastards. No, they set it on top of the bin because they read it and they want it to be public now. So then they can have deniability. Could have been anybody. Very dishonest people. Dishonorable. So anyways, now with that story in mind, it took 10 seconds for them to pick that piece of paper up off the ground, knowing that it was by my car, and knowing that if Lost Pole saw it fall in my pocket, he would have been so thrilled and so titillated so that he could offer his scumbag friends something. Oh, I got something. And then, of course, foolishly would gather up his friends, get in his car, and go to the office. Go to where the doctor's office was and see if they can crack into the computer, which would be easy for them. They've been doing it to me for 2 years now. It would be very, very easy for him to do it. So, back to the panties. So today, my partner comes home. I take out the trash. It's 11, probably 11, 10:30, close to 10:30, quarter to 11. So 2200 hours, 22:30 p.m. So I take the trash out, and right there on the ground, wait, let's back up. This morning, my partner and I woke up. We're laying in bed. We're talking, as partners sometimes do on happy good days. We're chatting and, telling stories and blah, blah, blah. And the story came up about this person who sells their panties online, used panties. And we all chuckled and got a joke out of it because it's like a fetish thing. That's like crazy things people do. Whatever. Innocent, harmless. Tonight, partner comes home. I take out the trash. And what's sitting on the ground? Right there, right in the front of the building, right in broad daylight at quarter to 11 at night. Panties. White panties. White female panties. Sitting on the grass. Yeah. So, I'm not going to freaking touch them because everybody and their dog is watching from the window. But the question I have is why are they there? These Christians are supposed to be so proper. A pair of ladies' panties, to me, it seems like a very intimate piece of clothing. Why else would people want to dress up in drag? Why else would people want to do fetishes like they did when we were talking this morning, use panties online? How many movies have you seen where the guy goes on a panty raid? Or they go into the girl's panty drawers and... Come on. Sex, people. Panties are the closest thing to the female body. It's a very sexual thing. So why are they sitting there on the ground? And why is it that every single Anglican student that passed through here, Moore Theological Bible College student, saw it sitting there and they never picked them up? Well, was it a hint that we listen to everything you say in your unit? We know what you say in your unit, and this is a hint? Was that what it was? Was it like a bribe? What is a bribe? We have information, and we want something from you. Okay, so was this a bribe? We hear everything that you say in your unit, we spy on you, and we won't stop. We will never stop, so why don't you just leave? Is that what it was? Well, they've been trying to give us that hint since we moved here. Leave. Like I said earlier in the video, a guy even said to me specifically, some people would be happier to leave, and he's working at the main Sydney dialysis for the Anglican Church here in Sydney. Yeah. So, why wouldn't they do that? Well, is it peer pressure? Well, I would have picked it up. I tell you, one of the Anglicans next door had their blinds down. And for 2 weeks, I saw people walking back and forth, Anglican students. They look around, look up. The first time I walked by, I looked up and I thought, you can see right into their room because their blinds are turned like this, not like this. You can see right into their room. So I waited because I expected one of the Anglican students to say something, right? They're so wonderful and they're so good and they serve Jesus. They're so righteous. and moral, and their culture and their society is one that's so upstanding, much better than normal society. So I expected one of them to say something. Nah, the blinds kept staying down. So I knocked on the door one day. Of course, she's heard about me. It was the wife, and she's heard about me because everybody, all these people sit there and weave their little lies about me or whatever. And she's kind of nervous. I can sense that. So I step back from the door and I say, okay, well, look, don't take this wrong way, blah, blah, blah. Don't be offended or whatever. But, you can see inside your room from the sidewalk here. So if you're standing by your window and you take off your top, I'll be able to see you. And she was a bit embarrassed. And I kind of put my head down because I didn't want to embarrass her. I says, okay, I'm just letting you know. Maybe you can flip them the other way. Anyway, she did. But did any of the Anglicans tell her to do that? Nah. Why? Because they would look like perverts if they did. They were afraid what other people would think. They were afraid what their precious peers would think. These wonderful Bible college students, they're so worried about getting their precious little job, their white picket fence and their tax-free job, that they're afraid to say anything. They're afraid to do good. Reminds me of Hitler. Wow. Maybe I'll talk about it if I have time. I said that to another girl in this unit, a non-Anglican. I said, your blinds, you should change the bottom ones to flip up and the top ones to flip down. The bottom ones, I can see you from my bedroom window. I can see you sitting in your desk writing. What? Oh, I can see you sitting in your desk from my window writing. You should flip your blinds. Oh, she was a little bit offended. I hope not. I was just trying to do her a favor. I said to her, well, if I can see it, then probably Stink Bog right across from you can see it. I said, why? What does it hurt to turn them up? Gives you some more privacy. I'm just letting you know. As would I if I was sitting there swinging my balls, getting ready for going out or whatever, and by the blinds, and you could see me from outside. I don't want somebody to say, hey, Chris, I can see your balls swinging around. Maybe just, turn the blinds. It was just a propriety I thought I would offer, and it never did me any good because they just frown upon you and think you're weird. What a weirdo. So whatever. So why didn't they pick up the panties off the lawn? Was it accidental? If it was accidental, why didn't they pick them up? If it was accidental, how come I've never seen an item of clothing on any of these properties the entire time I've been here, except once, when one of the Anglicans' little brat kids pulled it off the line and left it sitting there on the ground. Yeah, that's right. He walked up to someone else's clothes, yanked it off the line, and put it down on the ground. I saw the little guy. He's in that building over there. So that's Dirty Gonch. Dirty Gonch's kid. I call him Dirty Gonch. So nobody picked it up. So the whole day these panties were left sitting there. So the thing of it is if they're such upright Christians, and if there's into propriety, such a sensitive, intimate piece of clothing, you'd think you'd pick it up off the ground, but nobody did. So I came back in and told my partner all about it, and I was quite bothered because it took all of 10 seconds to pick up my note off the ground that I had left there, and they took it all away from where I had dropped it and put it all the way over to the bins, which is 80 meters away, and they left it on top in the rain, hoping probably before it rained that it would blow away, and then be public give them deniability. Anybody could have seen it. So rather than doing the right thing, which was either to rip it up or to say, hey, you dropped it. Well, I'm glad they don't talk to me, but I don't talk to them either. And if their lights are on or whatever, I'll tell them, even if I don't like them. Or like Stinkbog there, his wife left a letter on the parking lot, and I picked it up and handed it to him, even though I don't get along with the guy, and even though he hates my guts, and even though I know he's with the Anglicans. It doesn't matter. It's still proper. So yeah. So I said earlier on about Nazi. Well, what's Hitler got to do with anything? Well, Nazism, any kind of tyranny, any one of the fascists from the 30s or pre-Second World War period, it was all the same. People don't say nothing because they're scared. People don't say nothing because they're afraid of being the first to say something or being the first to critique, even though they know everything's wrong. They don't critique. And then when someone does critique, they get on the beat up bandwagon. They beat up the person who's critiquing. So Basically, I think that everything that I've seen in this school is basically wrong. Everything I've seen about these people is basically, look, we're all flawed. We all are. But when you go to Bible college, you should be trying to better yourself. You shouldn't be playing the keeping up with the Joneses and trying to impress your friends rather than trying to impress Jesus. You're supposed to be worried about your wealth in the afterlife. I bet you most of them don't even believe in the afterlife. One of the women here was talking to her kids. When you die, nothing happens, she said. I walked right by her. I don't even know if they believe in God, half of these people. I think these people are like the elite crust. I don't even know if they believe in the stories they're reading. I think it's just politics and money that they're after. Yeah, seriously, she said to her little kid who was 2 at the time, when you die, nothing happens. It's all over. You're just dead. And her little boy went, yep, that's it. And you're just dead. And her husband's wanting to teach in Indonesia, wanting to plant churches in Indonesia. Yeah, I don't know, man. Shake your head. I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine.